Jerry Jones just got around to, he's talking about Jason Garrett, who still feels like a lame duck coach. Dak Prescott's contract, because Jerry does his Tuesday radio show, and you get to ask him questions, and he, of course, loves to talk. And here he is on 105.3 The Fan in Dallas on Jason Garrett losing his job.
Jason Garrett has the second best odds of being let go within the season. Would you like to dispel that possibility?
Well, yes, dispel it, yes. But don't bet any money against that happening. You'll lose it.
Okay. He could change all of that by saying we're going to extend Jason Garrett. This is what is happening. And the reality is Jerry can't say that if we don't get to a certain point in the playoffs, then Jason Garrett will be fired. That's what he thinks. And that's the reality of this. Because if Jason Garrett, and look, has he extended Jason longer than he should have? Yes, probably so. But I think he was looking for the coach that, and whether that was going to be John Gruden, that was Sean Payton, maybe it's Lincoln Riley now. Jerry loves nice, shiny things. And if Jason Garrett doesn't get this team to a certain point, the expectation level is extremely high on this team. Let's say they bow out in the first round. They're going to make the playoffs. Let's say they don't make the playoffs. Then there's no chance for Jason Garrett. So all of this, he's not going to fire him during the season. I think that's what he's saying. Don't bet on that. Okay. But in the offseason, I might put down a wager that you're going to change coaches, depending on if you don't go to the NFC title game. This is my gut feeling. I don't have any information on this, no sources. My gut feeling is that if Jason Garrett doesn't reach a certain plateau, that he's going to lose his job. Yeah, Paul.
Don't you think this also factors not just the performance of the Cowboys, the interest of Lincoln Riley of Oklahoma? If Jerry Jones people reach out to Lincoln Riley's people, his agent, say, if he were offered the job, his answer would be what? Then he may get fired like in a reverse way. Like Jason Garrett could lose his job because there's a better candidate out there and available now. Like I'm saying 9 wins may not be enough.
No, that's why I think Jason has stayed in that job, because I don't know if they had a candidate where they said, this is the guy we want. Rumors were there for Sean Payton for the last 6 years. John Gruden, if he came back, was he going to go to Dallas? Is there that viable candidate where you go, they got to find somebody who is going to make Dak Prescott better? I think that would be the key. Do you have a franchise quarterback? You're going to have to pay him. And can you bring in somebody like Lincoln Riley, who is the quarterback whisperer? It used to be Bruce Arians. It's Lincoln Riley. But are you going to sign Dak Prescott? When are you going to sign him? And I think the expectation level here is extremely high that if you don't make it to a certain point in the playoffs, I think Jason loses his job. Yes, Heaton.
And I would imagine, too, that Lincoln Riley, just given the opportunity, I think the Cowboys is a job that he would really want. Most people would want that job, but I think especially him. And he would be more willing to play ball with management rather than a more senior established coach in the NFL that you bring in, where there's going to be that tug of war between, am I the chef here in this kitchen or, are you?
Well, you also look at what the Eagles are doing. If the Eagles were running away with this division, then there might be a little bit more of a panic. But look at the Eagles' schedule. At Minnesota, games against the Cowboys and Bills, home games against the Bears, Patriots, and Seahawks. There's nobody in football who will probably have a harder stretch than that. Let's say the Eagles go 3-3, which would be great. So they're at Minnesota. They're at the Cowboys. They're at the Bills. And then they have home games against the Bears, Patriots, and Seahawks. Those are all playoff teams. Now, Dallas has a difficult stretch starting in Week 11. Dallas plays at Detroit, at New England, host Buffalo, at Chicago. They host the Rams. They're at Philly. That is a brutal schedule as well. But you're playing similar teams here since you're in the NFC East. You're playing the same teams. And you start to look at that. The Redskins, who knows what they're going to be. The Giants could be pesky, but I think that this depends a lot on how Philadelphia, if Philly wins the division and Dallas is a wild card, there's a lot more attached to this than just saying, hey, you know what? Jason Garrett's not going to get fired. Okay. Not now. What about in, week 16, 14, 15, on the verge of not making the playoffs? So you had that rough stretch there. Then chances are you might put some money down on Jason losing his job. I'm not for anybody losing their job. I don't root for anybody. I'm just covering this and giving you my honest opinion. I like Jason Garrett. I do. Do I think that he stayed longer than than most coaches would in a situation like that? The answer is yes. And I think he's likable. I think he's amenable. He probably lets Jerry be Jerry. And, there's some troubleshooting, navigating that goes into that.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune into Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV. Stream for free on BR Live or download the Dan Patrick Show app.